There's one right here, Roland.
What you got, son?
Oh, that's a good start. Good fish.
Good start? Yeah,
Nice fish, nice fish, nice fish. I think I'll let him swallow that. Looked like that worm was pretty deep. Look at him pull.
Wow,
look at him pull.
That.
It is 106 degrees. That's right, I said 106 degrees. 106 degrees. The heat index is like 112. And what do you do when the heat index is 112 degrees? By golly, you go fishing. No, I hooked him right in the corner of the mouth. Get in here, baby.
That's a good one.
Get in here. That's a good one. Good way to start. Good way to start right there. Good way to start, about 3 pounds. Now he's hooked. He's hooked him. I caught him on the Lucky Strike baby Huey worm. That's an old Lucky Strike worm. I got some of the new hydra tail worms with him. I'm gonna fish with those a little bit too. That's a great start. It is 4:30 in the afternoon, the hottest, absolute hottest time of the day. Hottest time of the day. And what do you do when it's the hottest time of the day? Well, by golly, you go fishing. If you're a couple old guys that used to going fishing every chance they get, you go fishing. That's some hot sugar, I gotta tell you, Roland. And we'll talk to you about how we're fishing here. We might try some crankbaits. Roland might throw a topwater or a frog. I don't know what we might do. But one of the things about fishing this time of the day, this kind of weather, is this is the hottest it's gonna be today. It will be 105 here in a little bit. And then it will be 100. There's a fish. I got him. Got one out of your school, Roland.
Yeah.
This is Roland's fish. I'll let him wind it in. It's out of his school. It's a lot bigger than one he caught out of there. I had one of those little ones like he had bite it. Oh, and I shook it off. I'm gonna set my spot lock on my trolling motor. I'll sit down here. Get that guy in here. One of the things also that you want to do in your fishing this kind of weather, and I do it sometimes and sometimes I don't, but you want to dress. You see Roland's got shorts on. I really don't wear shorts when we're doing television shows. I wear them all summer. My legs are brown as they can be. But
I got one.
On that school. You got a school found.
School.
And
I've caught up with the school, Jimmy.
And Roland and I fished this morning, and we caught a lot of fish, but we never did find. We found one place where there's a school. This wasn't a place.
There's a bunch more following. Look, there's another couple of fish right there.
Watch this.
There's a fish right there.
Watch this.
Big old 4 or 5 pounder.
Watch this.
Look at that guy.
As the redneck said,
hold
my beer and watch this.
Son.
And I don't even
now
drink.
We're talking.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Schools of bass. Schools of 4-pound bass, 5-pound bass. There's a bunch of them here, boys.
That's summertime, though. That's the deal about the summertime. Now, these fish will break up. They're right on the outside edge of where that grass drops off and drops off into deeper water.
There's one.
There we go. There we go.
Just a little bit farther out.
Let's see if much of them come up with them. Ooh, a nice one.
Nice big one.
Good fish.
See any more
That's summertime bassing. If you can find a school, you can hammer them.
Find a school, you can look at these size. Nice 4 and 5 pound bass.
I don't see any.
You can't hardly beat this size fish. Well, 3.5 or so, but they're good adult fish. Now, Jimmy, how old is a fish like this?
He's 28 months.
28 months?
I don't know.
I would say it's, what, 4 years old?
3, 4 years old.
Probably 4 years old. Now, we're using a barbless hook, so this hook should come right out real easy.
And it does.
Let's see if it does. Yeah, came right out. Beautiful. This worm has been decimated, so I'm going to cut a little off. In the tail, look, something's got the tail, but that's all right. We're just going to throw it anyhow. The tail is kind of messed up. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. That hit it about 10 foot down. I was using that stop and sink and stop and swim technique. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a good fish right there. That's stop and swim technique. Drop it, stop it as it falls, stop it as it falls, wiggle it, stop it as it falls. That's a good fish right there. That's a nice one. I think I'm gonna try to boat flip him. Boat flip him, nice and easy. Nice and easy boat flip there. There's a 5-pounder rolling.
Hey boy, that's a
5-pound summertime fish right there.
That's a good fish.
That's Ocean Lucky Strike sneaky snake.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Old long sneaky snake. Now we talk about dropping. I think that's where I hooked that fish. It just looked like he'd been recently caught. I think that's where I hooked him. We talk about these fish not being down deep, being we're just saying, well, you're out here in 20 foot of water right now, and and you're talking about fish not being down deeper than 16 foot. And the reason is thermocline. There's Roland got another one in the exact same spot. And he got his baby brother.
So big. Not as big.
His baby brother.
But
you have his baby brother, Roland.
could be a whole school here.
That's okay.
Could be a school.
There could be a school there, you're right. The school of at least 2, I know that. Here's one. Here's one. Come here, baby. Well, they're out there on the edge, Roland, pretty far out. That's a good one, too. That's another good one. Well, these fish are biting, though. You know, the thing about it, even though it's 100 degrees, it's still 100 degrees, not going to get down too much below it, is that we're out here in the prime time of the day. When you go fishing at 4:30 and fish till dark, that's the prime time of the day. If you can only fish a few hours a day, you want to do this, or either the first 3 or 4 hours in the morning. That's it. That's all you need to do. There's no reason to fish any other time. Look at my worm up that line.
But you know what? I caught today right at noon. I was throwing a crankbait out here, Jimmy, and I caught a 6-pound bass.
Yeah.
So I did catch a big one.
You know, I might pick a deep smoothie up and throw it a little bit. That's just like a bass fisherman, isn't it? I mean, we're catching fish really, really good. Now that fit was over in his eye. That's a nice 3.5 pounder right there. Really nice fish, beautiful fish. Woo, that's some good hot sugar. Hot sugar. We're catching fish like crazy, and a really easy way to do it, fishing out deep with 15, 16 fish. Probably catching most of the fish 10 to 15 feet deep. Oh, the plastic worm, old style. Not using a shaky head or Ned rig or any of that jig and worm type special stuff. All of that stuff is simply a jig and worm. Just different type jigs, different type worms. It's just a jig and worm. But we're just old-fashioned fishing. Got 5/0 hook on there.
With the jig
Nice
fish.
one too, isn't it?
Put the jig on.
Yeah, good.
Just
good
because
one.
there's a
Very
lot of
good.
crawfish in this lake, I want to try something different. That's a jig.
that on
That's
jig?
a football jig, but it's actually one of
Yeah.
Jimmy's lucky strike football jigs. Nice bass.
Catch a lot. Look how fat that fish is.
That one.
He has been eating a bunch of something, hasn't he?
And so what
He
is
is fat.
Yeah, we're just doing a timber deal, showing all the different combinations of catching them in timber. And this is a 1/2 ounce football
Timber
jig
and
that I
grass.
got out of Jimmy's box. And it's got a little raged kind of tail on it. I don't know what kind of tail it is. And it looks like a crawfish.
Oh, there's one on crankbait. Rolling.
one?
I stopped that crankbait. It's a nice one on a crankbait. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Now you'd think because they've got all the barb cement down, that fish would get off every time. I want to show you something here. He's not going to get off. He's not going to get off. He's going to get put up in this boat right here. Definitely put up in this boat. Come here, baby. That's a good fish.
See any more
Oh,
underneath?
man, nice one.
No?
Got that.
That's a good 4-pound bass.
Got that deep smoothie in his mouth. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Look at that. Now, you got to be careful. Now, he's only hooked with one hook, and it's barbless. Looky there. It'll come right out easy. Then yet he still didn't get away. And that's a beauty right there. It's a nice 4-pound bass.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good one.
on Roland's crankbait tip, except now I did a little different, Roland. As soon as it hit the grass, I stopped. I felt it hit grass. As soon as it hit that grass, I stopped. But you're right on down that point, which is sort of our pattern. And there seems to be more fish on the point. We're catching them. They're not all on the points. We're catching them out on, but probably some of those that we're catching off the edge of grass, honestly, are probably on points of grass line going out, probably a little point coming out. That's probably where they are. Oh, there's one. I told you, out of the trees, we catch them. Whoa, it's a big one too. Did you see him jump? Once you get, look at that. Golly, like a tarpon. A tarpon bass, Roland. Crankbait. Look at that. 3 jumps out of that fish. 3 jumps. It's a nice big one too. 4 jumps. Come in this boat with me. Come on over here. Come on over here.
That's some good fish on that crankbait.
Woo!
Another
That deep
5-pound bass.
smoothie. This bait is as close as you can come to a green pumpkin. That's another close to 5 pounds, maybe not quite. Good sugar. This is an American original deep smoothie in a green crawfish, they call it, That's as close as a crankbait you can get to a green pumpkin. It's got the red eyes. I put red eyes in all the baits I design. Got an orange belly on it. That's a crawfish colored bait. That's just what it is, period. And you know, green pumpkin is probably the most popular color of a plastic worm. So a green pumpkin crankbait obviously makes sense that it'd work, and it does. Works really well. There's one right there. They're there, Roland. They're there, Roland. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. Right to the left of that bush, Roland. That's a good fish right there. Crankbaits. Oh, Lee, that's a good one. That's the biggest one on crankbait, I think. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Roland should catch one out there, too. I don't see, there's no fish with it, but there was a school there this morning. We caught 3 in just about.
I had one.
You had one bite in about 3. Now, the fish is barely hooked. Now, that fish has come loose out of his mouth. See, he's barely hooked. He may drop off.
I got him.
The 5-pounder.
I got mine.
Roland got one, too. And this is a school that we found this morning. Now, if that had been a tournament situation, after we caught 2, we would have left it. That's one of the deals that you run to right off the bat in a tournament. You might run 30, 40, 50 miles to try to get there, and you're praying as you get close that there's no one else on that hole. And then you get in there and you're just praying that when you throw in there you get a bite. And sometimes you do, and you can have a big sack in the boat. Look at that, it's a 5-pounder. I know we're looking right in the sun, but that's the only way we can be right on the hole. Woo-hoo-hoo. The crankbait is paying off pretty good, Roland. I'm gonna fire it out. Right on that outside bend of the creek. And there he is, right there, right to the left of that tree. But it's just an incredibly great spot. I mean, an incredibly great spot. Oh, that one got off. Roland's got one.
I got a good one.
Worm or jig?
I got a good one. Yes, sir, son.
That's summertime
That's what I'm
right there.
talking
That's what you're hoping for
That's
in the
what we're looking
summertime.
for.
And when you
That's the
see
second
these
big
guys,
school. There's another fish underneath him. There's a couple fish down there. That's a big old 4 or 5-pounder. But there's other fish with them. Other fish with them. Okay. Woo!
when you
I
see
love it,
these guys sometimes in a tournament, and lakes like Kentucky Lake and Sam Rayburn and, you know, Lake Cherokee, all the lakes that you see them sitting in one spot and throwing in one spot, you know, generally this is what they found, is a spot where there's something holding a school of fish. Might simply be just a point. They're patterned on the points right now, we know that. Or it might be an outside bend in a creek channel. They might be on this other side, and they may move back and forth from one to the other. But it's exactly what you're looking for in the summertime. And sometimes these fish will stay there for a week or two. You know, you might be able to catch them and come back 2 or 3 weeks later and still catch them. But normally, they'll only stay in that spot for a few days. Got him?
Another big one. I don't know where he is. Somewhere here. Uh-oh. He's in the tree.
Get him out of that tree.
He's in the tree.
I got one too, out the other side, down this creek channel. I bet mine's bigger than yours. Oh, mine come off. Yours come off?
5 pounds. No.
Let me. Well, I saw mine good. He jumped, come off.
Look at this guy.
That's funny. That's funny.
Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
And don't throw him back till I get a chance to look at him.
Schools of bass. Schools of bass. Nothing better.
Hey.
Woo!
Hey, let me see. Oh yeah, mine was bigger than that. Mine was bigger than that. I knew it was.